everyone, so I wanted to introduce a new series. Actually, it's not quite new because I have done it before, but I never really finished it, and I wanted to kind of bring it back and redo some of the videos. I'm going to do my Back to Basics. What I'm planning on doing for this Back to Basics series again is to show you how to do your brows, how to apply foundation and concealer properly, like the steps of it, how to contour or the different types of contouring, just really going into depth about different processes of applying makeup. Well, the reason why I really wanted to get back into doing this is because my first videos weren't as detailed as I wanted them to be. Being a makeup artist now, being an actual makeup artist, has really helped me kind of mold my trait and really help me explain the process a lot more easier. So I'm going to really break everything down to the easiest way possible, and I really want to teach women how to properly apply their makeup. When I say properly, I mean to not just my own standards, but to Trish McEvoy standards, to other gurus that I've learned from, just really the basics of applying makeup and really getting down to how easy it can be for you. So if you follow me on Tumblr, you'll know that I am recently doing, my Tumblr blog has been kind of become my also school blog. For one of my media classes, we're posting blogs, and I'm linking my videos to that those blog posts so that my fellow classmates and professors can see. And I do have a lot of females in that class who I'd really love to enlighten. I do have a few women who told me before they're not very sure how to apply certain things, and I would really love to explain to them how to do these things, because they're quite simple, and with a little bit of help you can get it down to do it yourself. So yeah, it's a really long introduction, but I really wanted to, my whole purpose of this is to really in detail explain different types of application of makeup, and also, the details of it, of what kind of brush to use for what, and what foundation is good for me, just really giving out my own advice to those of you who don't really know how to apply makeup, or what brushes even do, or what even is a brush, or how to clean them properly. So really, like I said, it's going to be back to basics, the basics of applying makeup, the basics of applying skincare, and everything else. So I hope you enjoy, and stay tuned for more videos. In this video, I'm actually going to explain to you how to apply brows. So if you want to learn how to apply your brows properly, stay tuned. Alright, so before you do anything, you want to clean off the makeup that is on your brows. I usually just use a plain old Q-tip for this, so I'm just going to wet it. So just wet your Q-tip and then lightly just kind of clean up the makeup. And as you can see, there'll be a bit on there. So just clean off the makeup. You don't want there to be any on there, just because if you mix the powder or whatever product you're using for your brows with the makeup that's already on your eyebrows, it just kind of makes it look white or grayish and kind of ashy, and that's not very good. So this will help a lot, just taking off whatever you have on there. So the first brow product I'm going to show you is my personal favorite, the one I use every single day, just because I really like this application. It's my favorite brow pencil, and I've used several different ones. In my favorites a while ago, I really liked the Maybelline one, but this is basically the same thing, but it's a little bit nicer quality. This is the Trish McEvoy Precision Eyebrow Pencil. Now the reason why I love it is because it has a very fine point, super small, and on the other end it also has a brow comb, so that's really helpful. So you kind of just lightly brush through your hairs. And sometimes I really do like to go against the grain, so what I'm going to start off is the tip. Your tip of your brow should be the darkest part of your brow. The inner corner tends to be sometimes thought of the darkest part, but really in reality it should be the tip of your brow that should be the darkest. So that's where I'm going to start right now. What I mean by saying going against the grain is actually literally going backwards. So instead of going this way, you're going that way. And what this does is it goes in between the hair follicles of your brow and actually fills them in. Now, when we do our brows, you don't want to think of it as drawing them on. When you would draw them on, you probably go like this, which is what most women tend to do. So we want to stop and refrain from that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go against the grain like I'm doing here, kind of just going into the brow hairs themselves and filling in. Now if you want, you need a little help with your tail, you can go ahead and just lightly brush it through can help with your little arch here as well. That's fine. If you don't want to be directly drawing it on, if you need a little bit more help with your brow, you can go ahead and draw a bit more, but I'm still going to go against the grain and into the start of the brow. And while I'm doing that, I'm combing through each time because that really helps with the delivery system of this product. So once again, I'm going into the hair follicles and then combing. Now, by going into the hair follicles and not drawing them on and going against the grain, you're really guiding your natural shape of your brow. If you were to draw it on, you're most likely going to draw on above the lines of your hair. I have a little phrase I like to say when I'm showing other people how to do this. I call it keeping it in the family, which means keep it in the boundaries of your hair line. And normally this takes me about 30 seconds to do. I can do it pretty quickly because I'm used to it. So at first it will take you a while to figure out how you want to do it, but eventually you'll get it down pretty fast. So you can nicely see the difference in my brows. This one has a nicer arch. It's a lot more filled. This one's a little bit more sparse and washed out and kind of just a plain old shape. Like I said, I really enjoy using this. So next I'm going to show you the second product. Now this is another way that I've done it. Before I use my brow pencil, I used to fill them in using using an eyeshadow. Now before I use the brow pencil, I always fill them in this way, which is perfectly fine. This is another great way to do it. I'm actually going to take an angled brush. This one's by Sigma. I quite like a fuller brush for it. Some brushes are quite thin. Some angled brushes that you might find are quite thin, but this one, as you can see, is a lot more thicker. It's a little bit more fuller. It has a little bit more meat to it. So I'm going to use that with my Buck eyeshadow from the Naked palette, this color right here. You don't want to use a color exactly like your hair color. You want to use it maybe a little bit lighter. You could use a combination of colors. Personally, I find this Buck color to be almost perfectly fit for my hair color. So I'm going to take a little bit of that onto my angled brush, just kind of pouncing my brush in there, tapping off the excess. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to comb my brow a bit. And then I'm going to start at the tip here. Kind of just lightly feather it in. Now, the reason being most people like this is because it gives kind of like a fuller effect, and it's a lot easier to do sometimes because you're just kind of lightly following your brow line. But I personally love the pencil, but this is another great way to do it. So I'm kind of just lightly penciling it in. I'm going to do my tip here. Kind of going against the grain again, just to pick up my arch. I'm going to comb through a bit. And then I'm going to really help my arch here because it is a little bit in need of some help. And then I'm just going to lightly help fill that in. And then just kind of help guide it through again. And that's how you do it with a powder. You can see it's a little bit more different than the Precision Brow Pencil, but because it's a little bit more lighter, the color isn't as, dense as the brow pencil. It's a little bit more natural than using the pencil, but the reason I love the pencil is because it has a little bit more precision to it. It has a little bit more of an accuracy with it. So you can really mimic the actual brow follicles. So that's how I do that. Now, the last thing I'm going to do before I finish off this look is put a little bit of brow gel. Now, the reason why most of us use brow gel, including myself, is that it restores texture to the brow. It's really important to restore that texture, especially after using something like a brow pencil like the one I used that's very waxy. The formula of this pencil is quite waxy, so it will have the tendency to paste down the brows, and you don't want that. Even though you comb them through, sometimes it will paste them down and they won't look natural, just look like you have like a pasted down eyebrow, and you don't want that. And then also with the powder product, it will look powdery and cakey, and you don't want that. So you want to restore those natural brow follicles. And what we're going to use is we're going to use a little bit of brow gel. This is actually a clear mascara, but I've loved this stuff. I've used it for years as a brow gel. Trish McEvoy makes a really great brow gel. MAC makes a great brow gel. There's several different brow gels you can use. This one's just a lot more cheaper and it's just more easier. So I'm just going to lightly brush this through. I like to comb upward and then pull back down. Just because I like my brow hairs to be a little bit more fuller. And that's it. Very, very simple, very easy. And there are your brows. So I'll go in a little bit closer so you can see. It's going to dry. Once it does dry, it sets pretty well. But you can see the difference. Isn't very much of a difference, but I just feel like the brow pencil gives a lot more of a, precision to it, a lot more angles in it. Alright, so that's basically it, guys. Stay tuned for more videos coming up. My next video will probably be how to contour. I know I've already done the how to contour and how to do brows before, but I really don't like the way I did those videos. And then this video for how to contour, I'm really going to explain to you in depth the different types of contouring, different products you can use, different brushes, and the different ways of applying it. So I'm really going to go in detail how to contour and how to bronze. Basically bronzing and contour. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you soon. Bye!